Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky again. Interlacing the fingers, take the hands behind the head, hit the elbows up to the sides. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze, press the elbows. Exhale, round, tilt the pelvis and draw lower belly in. Let's do this twice more. Lifting through our heart, our thoracic spine, creating room. Exhale to tilt the pelvis, draw lower belly in. Inhale from your tailbone, illuminating up through the spine, creating space right to the top. And then come back to a neutral head placement. We'll take our right hand to the earth, left elbow up to the sky, stretching through this left side. Reaching the hand up in a diagonal with an inhale, reach to the fingertips. And then exhale, take that left hand to your side, right hand behind the head, elbow up again, looking up, press to the ground, to the earth. Inhale, reach the hand over the head, big diagonal, big stretch through, lifting heart. And exhale, take the hands behind you now, interlace the fingers, press the palms together, the heels of the hands, lengthen, lift up through your gaze, your heart. One more breath. And then exhale, releasing. Let's take it onto our hands and knees briefly, checking in with our fingers, spreading all of the fingers away from each other and the thumbs, pressing the pads of the fingers and hands down, lifting up through the center of the palm. Let's just rock forward and back, strengthening our wrists. And as we strengthen them, it helps strengthen the whole of our arms, up through our shoulders, and through the whole body with tensegrity, with whole body awareness and embodied breath. As you pause in rocking, let's tuck the toes under and lift the knees off the ground. Floating tabletop. You can stay here for 2 more breaths, or if you want to make it harder, 1 knee to 1 upper arm and go to the other side. Crawling like an animal over the ground, or just staying in stillness. You can rest if you need to in child's pose as well. Let's take the knees down and lift the hands forward, hips back towards child's pose, just resting. Maybe come onto your elbows and circle the wrists round one way, circling the wrists round the other way. Coming back to your floating tabletop, tucking the toes under, lifting through core, through shoulders, and then exhale, lift the hips back to downward facing dog. You can pedal out the feet, 1 knee bends as the other heel presses down. Have a little sway, maybe picking up 1 foot and circling the ankle round one way, then the other, going to the other foot when you're ready. Notice from hands, lifting up through the arms and the armpits, lifting through the sides of the body and the spine to the hips, lengthening through the legs down to the heels, and lifting through the inner arches to inner thighs, core line, all the way back to the center of the hands. Let's walk the feet forward to the top of the mat, please, hanging in forward fold ragdoll style, holding on to opposite elbows as you sway from side to side. Let everything dangle, the weight of your body just hang down, dropping everything to the earth. Noticing both feet and pressing with balance, taking the weight forward to the toes a little bit more to extend the back of the legs. Keep a slight bend in the knees always. And as you soften, maybe shaking your head yes and no, maybe shrugging the shoulders, opening your jaw. And having a sigh, if you like, for the last breath. Before we start to roll all the way up, center to standing. Coming up to Tadasana, mountain pose, hands to the sides, looking forwards, Let's shrug our shoulders back a few times and just settle into the balance of our body. Taking your hands to your heart, Surya Namaskar A with a lunge for a couple of rounds. We'll do some variations and then we'll try Chandra Namaskar, the moon sequence. Setting your intention as you close your eyes, please. Grounding to the earth. Lengthening up through your body, igniting the legs, your core, illuminating up to your spine and the crown of your head. Soften your face, your heart, moving with new moon energy to balance and to ground. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky, looking up. Exhale, folding forwards as you bend the knees. Inhale, looking forwards to a flat back, lift lower belly, gaze. Exhale, hands down, stepping back to with the right foot to low lunge. Lifting hands up overhead, looking up, press to the feet. Exhale, hands down, stepping back to plank when you're ready with an inhale, knees coming down in plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or full chaturanga, elbows in. Inhale, sweep the heart forward for cobra, shoulders back and down. Exhale, tucking the toes, lifting up through your downward facing dog. And you can rest at any time you need to in child's pose in any of the vinyasas. As you press to the heels, lifting the hips, lifting inner thighs, lifting core. Notice the fingers and the pads of the hands, the little fingers pressing. Activate the sides of the arms up to the armpits. With an inhale, lifting right foot up to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee in, stepping it forward for low lunge with the left knee down. With an inhale, reach the hands up, looking up. Exhale, hands down, stepping forwards with an inhale, looking forwards, lift up halfway. Exhale, folding in, lift lower belly. Inhale, rise up to the top, reaching up. Exhale, folding down again. Inhale to look forward to lengthen. Exhale, hands down, taking left foot back. Low lunge again. You can choose a different hand placement if you like. Hands overhead, maybe interlacing the fingers, index finger pointing up. Exhale, hands down, stepping back to plank with an inhale, press the ground away. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga as you lower. Inhale, sweeping the heart forward for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Checking in with the breath, breathing through. Long, generous, equanimous, ujjayi breath. Begin the sound of the ocean from hands to feet. Inhale, lifting left foot up to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee in, step it forward, top of the mat. Right knee down, hands overhead, reaching high. Choosing your hands again, lifting lower belly and heart. Exhale, hands down, stepping forwards with an inhale, looking forwards, lift halfway. Exhale, folding in, lift lower belly. Inhale, rise up to the top, reaching up. Exhale, folding down again. Inhale to look forward and lengthen. Exhale, hands down, stepping right foot back. You can choose low or high lunge. Reaching hands overhead again. Let's drop the left hand to the back of the right thigh and lift right fingers up to the sky more. Stretching through this right side with the sun, masculine energy. Exhale, hands down, stepping back to plank. Inhale, press the ground away. Exhale, knees, chest, chin on chaturanga. Inhale, sweep the heart forward for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. 3 more big breaths, grounding to the earth, lifting and shining through the spine. Notice from the tailbone all the way through again, and from the top of the spine all the way up to the tailbone. Inhale, lifting right foot up to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee in, step it forward, low or high lunge again, reaching up when you're ready. Exhale, dropping the right hand to left thigh, lifting left fingers, lifting gaze, lower belly, feel front of left hip. Exhale, hands down, stepping forwards with an inhale, looking forwards, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold, lift lower belly and shoulders. Inhale, rise up to the top, reaching high, looking up. Exhale, folding down again. Inhale to look forward and lengthen. Exhale, hands down, taking left foot back, low or high lunge. You choose, reaching hands high to the sky. Dropping the right hand again to the back of the left thigh and lifting high. Exhale, we'll take the left elbow to the outer right thigh. Maybe hands to the hip or hands to prayer, or fingers and thumb tips are touching in Hakini Mudra. Drawing that right shoulder and elbow back, looking round. Left knee can be down to help you. One more inhale here from the back heel. Exhale, hands down, stepping back to plank. With an inhale, press the ground away. Exhale, lowering your own style. Inhale, sweep the heart forward for Cobra, up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. Rest if you need to, have a sigh. Maybe doing a swaying action with the legs, swaying the heels to the left, bend the left knee, pressing the right heel down to stretch out the right side. Swaying the heels all the way over to the right, bend the right knee, left heel presses down, stretching the left side. Inhale to center, lifting left foot up to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee in, low or high lunge as you step the foot forward again. Reaching up with the hands overhead. Drop the left hand to the back of the right thigh. Lengthen with an inhale. Exhale, take the elbow over the outer left thigh. Hands to the hip or hands to prayer or Hakini Mudra again. Drawing that left shoulder, left elbow back, looking round. Feel feet firm. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale from back heel. Exhale, hands down, stepping forwards with an inhale, looking forwards, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold, lift lower belly and shoulders. Inhale, rise to the top, reaching high. And exhale, hands to a heart. Just close your eyes for a moment and notice your breath returning to an equal, steady, easeful breath. Your legs with balance, your heart lifted, centering through your core, lengthening your spine. We're next going to try Chandra Namaskar now, moon salutation. So I'll just move so you can see my head and it's not cut off. And we're going to step to the back of the mat, I think for most of you, so that your left foot can move forward first. Okay, it'll be your left foot forward first. I think I'll mirror you so it won't be confusing for you. So I'm going to do my right foot forward first, and I'll try my best to give you all the cues in mirror. So we'll take our feet together. With an inhale, reach the hands up overhead. Interlace the fingers, index finger is pointing up. With a long arrow stretch, reaching up to the fingers. And this whole sequence echoes different phases of the moon. It tends to move and jump around a bit from new moon to full moon straight away, but it's quite nice, and it's really nice to honor the moon on new moon and full moon with this. So we're going to arch the hands over to the left and hips to the right. Press to the feet in new moon. Feel the length of the spine lifting heart with all of these movements. Inhale back to center, stepping the left foot out to the side For start, pressing to the extremities of your body, of your fingers, your toes, leveling the feet, lifting through the core. We hold each posture for about 3 breaths with this sequence. It's a lot slower. And getting into our hips, our sacral chakra for the moon, energy of our feminine. Let's bend our elbows now, palms facing forwards, turn the toes out, heels in, bend the knees and squat down into your full moon goddess. Imagining a full moon around you, lighting up, lengthening the spine again, lifting the heart, pressing to feet, 1 more breath, maybe getting a bit lower, well done. Inhale, come up to center point. We take the right hand to right hip, lengthen the left toes forward to face forward, so your left toes are straight forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach this left hand over the leg and then down the inner seam for triangle pose. Tilting the right hip back, the ribs back maybe with the hand, lifting the right hand when you're ready. Feeling into feet, hands, shoulders back, lengthen through the spine, lifting heart, engaging the side body so you're not reaching too low down to that foot, but staying lifted in both side bodies. Exhale, we lower the right hand down to the leg now, pyramid pose as you step the back foot forward a little bit, turn the toes of the back foot towards the front of the mat, towards the left foot. Inhale, reach the heart forward over the leg. Exhale to fold in. Keep that going, 2 more breaths, or you can stay in stillness. Noticing this left hip, noticing the back heel to the crown of the head. Inhale, we look forward, we take the left foot back, the right foot back now, right foot back into a low lunge. Square the left foot, hands either side of it, as you press from that right heel all the way through to the crown of the head. Just stay here in your low lunge with the hands down. And we're getting into the darker phases of the moon, which is just being in the sky. Taking the hands inside the left foot, getting lower into a lizard variation or a side diagonal lunge. Hands are shoulder width apart and we just lower down to the earth. Maybe you can come onto your forearms like this as well. 1 more breath. Inhale, coming to center now. We turn both feet so the toes are diagonal for a low squat. Hands are shoulder width just in front of your body and lowering as far as you can down. 1 more breath. Now turning the feet parallel, we're going to lower into our forward fold, Pasarita Padmasana. Taking the hands maybe between the feet, or you can lengthen the hands forwards and look forwards. So 2 variations. If the hands are between the feet, dropping the head down, tailbone lifted with broadness in the hips and the sit bones. The hands are forward, looking forward, lengthen through the spine. Now we go over to our right foot. We turn the right toes straight to the front or the back of the mat. Diagonal lunge on this side. So we take the hands inside the right foot and hands shoulder width apart as you lower down. Maybe onto your forearms again to get a bit lower. Noticing the hips. This right hip now. 1 more breath, softening shoulders and face. Inhale, frame the right foot, taking the hands either side, pick up the back heel, lengthen through the legs, looking forwards in your low lunge. And we're getting higher through the moon now and moving into a more fullness, brightness again. Taking your time to come up a little bit and move the back foot in. So you move that back foot in for pyramid pose, forward fold over this right leg. With the knee bent slightly, inhale, looking forwards, lengthen, exhale to fold in. Twice more, inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold in, inhale to lengthen, and exhale to fold in. Inhale, we look forward, bend the right knee, coming up halfway for triangle pose. Just steady yourself, come up as much as you need to, and get some alignment. Taking your hand to the inner calf area, your left hand to the left hip perhaps, moving the hip back, the ribs back, and lengthening the left hand when you're ready. 2 more breaths. Feel the length through the spine again, lifted in the side bodies, lifted in the heart, maybe lifting gaze as well. Inhale, press to both feet, bend the right knee and coming up. Let's take full moon, turning the toes out, bend the knees, bend the elbows, palms are facing forwards. Big deep stretch through the inner thighs, getting lower. Getting brighter, illuminating all the way around, lengthening through the spine. With an inhale, press the ground away, straighten the legs, turn the feet parallel, straighten the hands again, lengthen through, lift to the crown of the head, soften shoulders, lifting heart, maybe lifting gaze as well. And then bend the knees a little bit to take the feet together, the hands together in standing with feet together in arrow. Interlace the fingers, bring the index finger up. Now hands to the right and hips to the left to finish. Inhale, coming up to center, and exhale, hands down to the sides. Well done, everyone. That was Chandra, Namaskar, and it's a lot slower than our usual sun salutation. So it's nice to do once during class. Let's take our back bends now. So we're going to ground down to our feet and lower in our usual way through a vinyasa to the ground. Inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, lower, soften the knees. Inhale, looking forward to a flat back. Exhale, hands down, back to plank. Press the ground away in plank. We'll take side plank each side and then lower down to our back bend. So choosing whether you want your knee down to help you or straight legs. Going over to our left first of all, right hand lifted, reaching up through the hips, through the side bodies, through the core. This top hand, big, pressing through with our breath. Exhale, hands to the ground, going over to the other side when you're ready. You can rest, of course, if you need to. Lift hips, lift side bodies, lift heart. Maybe lift top leg, I forgot to say that on the other side. Exhale, hands down. Let's lower all the way to the ground now, taking Sphinx pose, elbows under shoulders. Move onto the front of the thighs, so have a little wriggle. Notice the toes aiming down to the ground. Lengthen through the leg line, lift through the spine, activate your glutes, lifting from the hips up to the shoulders. Shoulders are drawing back, hearts forward. Breathing well. Feel the breath through the front of the body as you inhale, and the back of the body as you exhale. Taking 3 more big breaths, please. Lighting up your spine, sensing from the tailbone to the crown. Now we'll do some core activations in Sphinx, tilting our gaze down to the ground, lift the hips off and look down to the knees and thighs. Inhale, lengthen, looking forwards, from toes to crown in your Sphinx again. Twice more, exhale, tilting the pelvis back, lifting the hips, looking down to the knees and the thighs. Inhale, looking forwards and lengthen. Once more, lifting through your core, your hips, lengthening the spine in this different way, in a counter pose way. Inhale, reach the heart forward and lengthen through. We'll take the heart down to the ground, hands over the head in full body pranam. And soften as you just let everything go to the earth for a moment before we go through some locust variations. Let's do opposite arm and leg first of all. So take the hands shoulder width apart, lift opposite arm and leg in your own rhythm. You can go slow or fast. Keep it going from side to side with your breath, breathing through, lifting and lowering, equalizing your awareness of each arm and each leg. Check in to notice if one leg's firing over active more than the other, and leveling your effort in both. One more breath each side, and ending on the opposite side you didn't start with, please. And then we'll rest in crocodile, crossing the forearms, sway the feet over the body from side to side. Have a little breath. Just check you can see me. Great, let's take the hands forwards now, lift them over the head, drop the elbows to the sides of the body, lift the chest, lift the feet with your exhale. Inhale, straighten the arms overhead again. Keep that going, exhale, pull the elbows down, lift chest, lift feet. Inhale to lower and lengthen. Exhale, elbows down, lift chest and feet, and thighs perhaps are off the ground a bit. Inhale to lengthen, keep that going. 2 more big breaths. Shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale to lengthen and lower. Exhale to engage, lifting high, lifting heart and feet. And then exhale, crocodile pose as you soften. Maybe crossing your forearms the opposite way than you usually do. So just switch the sides. Next we'll practice frog. We're going to take the front of the thighs down to the mat just to begin with. Feet are together and balanced. Coming up onto a sphinx pose, elbows under shoulders, forearms to the mat. Let's move our right knee out to the side. The knees level with the hip, and then flex the right foot so the foot is 90 degrees from the shin. And the toes are active like a frog's leg. Level your body and your pelvis. Level your hips and your shoulders. Lengthen through the spine and your half frog. We're just breathing through and around from our right hip to left. Noticing the left side of the body as well. You'll feel it where you're tight in your body, so everyone feels this a little bit differently. Taking 2 more breaths, please. Flexing the right foot, spreading the toes like a frog's leg. And now take that leg behind and move it all the way behind the left leg and quite a bit further behind than me. I can't actually get my leg quite far behind. And we can reach it with the right hand overhead as well into a nice stretch. Coming back to neutral in Sphinx pose, wriggle onto the front of the thighs. Feet are together just to align. Let's take the left knee out to the side now. Left knee's level with the hip, bend, flex the foot so the foot is 90 degrees from the shin as well. And I have this alignment of leveling the pelvis, the hips and the shoulders, pressing through from those right toes with the left toes flexed all the way, lifting through the leg line, through the spine. And taking 3 more big breaths, please. Being aware of your breath and the sensations. Breathing out any tension. Softening shoulders, jaw and face. Breathing from left hip to right. Now sway over to our right side, taking that left foot behind, quite away. Reach the left arm overhead, nice stretch again. Lift up through the right shoulder a little bit so you're not weighting down onto the shoulder joint at all. And then coming back to center, back to Sphinx for a moment. We'll just settle in Sphinx for 3 more breaths, and you've got choice to press up to seal. To sway onto the front of the thighs, align the feet, either Sphinx or we turn the fingers out diagonal. Make a V with the thumb and the index finger and press the ground away. 3 more breaths, maybe walking the hands a bit closer in your seal. Keep a slight bend in the elbows. Draw the elbows in slightly, shoulders back, lifting through heart, lengthen through your spine, from hips to shoulders. 1 more breath. And then lowering down. Let's take locust traditional style now. So the backs of hands are on the ground. Firm your feet and wriggle onto the front of the thighs again. Lift chest, lift feet, and 5 breaths like this. Either we're lowering as we exhale, and inhale to rise, or we're staying lifted, and we're softening as we exhale a little bit. Inhale to engage. You can have the backs of hands to the mat, or if you prefer to lift them off, lift them free. Flying like over the clouds and the sky, the blue sky, and the bright sun, and the new moon, making this new moon shake with our spine, lighting up from the tailbone to the base of the skull, all the way through the length of your spine, and then lowering down. Great, let's rest our cheek to the mat. And then turn the other cheek to the mat. Next, you have a choice of locust or bow Dharana. So you can take any of those variations of locust we've just done, backs of hands down, hands floating, or take bound locust, lifting chest and feet. You can go to bow if you like, hands to the outer edges of the feet. Draw the knees and big toes together to start. Lift chest, lift feet. Lift knees, maybe flexing the feet will lift and press the body up a bit more. Pointing the feet will lift the legs up a little bit more. 3 more big breaths, softening as you exhale. Inhale to engage, shoulder blades back, heart lifted, soften the face and the jaw. Looking up, if you can, lifting through the spine. 1 more big breath. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale to soften all the way down, releasing. Let's rest in crocodile pose, crossing the forearms again above the head, sway the feet over the legs from side to side. The next, press back into child's pose, so firming the feet, hands shoulder width apart, under the shoulders, elbows in, press the ground away, and come to child's pose, hands over the head. Let's arch the hands over to the left, press the right hip towards right heel, softening down, softening face and shoulders, keeping the length in the spine. Coming over to the right with both hands, arching, pressing left hip to left heel. And then coming back to center, let's lift up into a kneeling position, taking the hands behind, interlacing them. You can choose to have your feet flat on the ground, or we're going to come up onto our toes and press the hips to the heels. And this stretches the front of the thighs, but also the whole of the plantar fascia, the soles of our feet. You can stay with it with determination and focus, even though it's painful, just training our mind to overcome the pain. So interlacing the fingers the opposite way now, switching your grip please. Let's take our hands over to the right side of the back, tuck the right elbow in, lengthen and lift up to the crown of the head. And then we'll go to the other side, taking the hands to the left, take the left elbow in, lift to the crown of the head. Inhale, reach the hands up overhead now, letting go and interlace them over the head, turn the palms up and press to the heels of the hands. The feet are really talking to you now, just stay with it, breathe through. One more breath. And then taking the hands forward, tap the front of the feet to the ground, release all that blood. Nice fresh energy. Let's take camel pose now. We'll do it both sides and then we'll link it with a nice flowing opening and closing action. So we're going to lift up onto a full kneeling position with our body lifted. Hands either side of the lower back around the hips. Thumbs are forward and fingers are down towards the hips. Press the elbows back, heart forward. Keep the body square all the time. Looking forwards, the way that we tilt our pelvis forwards deepens the back bend so you control it. The more you press forwards, the harder it will be. So go easy and maybe moving the hips back a little bit if you don't want to have too much of a back bend. We lift up through the heart and the gaze to lift through the thoracic spine. And then coming back to a neutral point, we'll practice half camel now, tucking the toes under so you don't have much more of a drop back to reach if you're not used to it or if you just prefer that version. Then we'll take our right hand to right heel. Square the body again, lift the left hand up to above the head. So it's a diagonal from the left knee all the way to the fingertips. The more you press the pelvis forward again, controls the back bend. Lifting heart, lifting gaze, looking up, and then exhale, lower the left hand to the side of the left thigh and come up to a neutral tall spine. Taking the left hand back when you're ready, right hand lifts up above the head in that diagonal again, lifting heart, lifting gaze, shining through. This nice arch for the new moon, shining to the fingers, and then slowly coming up square. If you want to take full camel, both hands back to both heels, or you can take the hands round the hips again and just practice that way, looking forwards, hips are forwards as well. If you have full camel, dropping back, lengthening through, feel the shoulder blades, nice towards each other, lift the gaze, lengthen through the top of the spine, lift the heart. One more breath, well done everyone. And then slowly coming up to center. Let's all practice the counter pose. Our lower backs will be feeling it. This really helps with it. First we'll take the hands forward, lower the hips to the heels in a high variation of child's pose. Then bring the knees together and take the hands to the heels, rabbits, the counter pose. We tuck the head in as close as it can go to the knees. Lift the hips up and round through the spine. Feel the crown of the head down to the mat, so you're rounding through your neck, your cervical spine, your mid-thoracic spine, and your lower lumbar. Taking 2 more breaths, please. Along the length of the spine, creating space, softening face and shoulders, and then slowly coming up to a seat in Virasana Hero's pose. Great, we're going to practice Hero or Supta Virasana Sleeping Hero. So Hero, we can either have our heels underneath our hips or our heels either side of our thighs, nestling our hips down to the ground. For that, if you want to get a bit comfy, you can move the calf muscles out to the side a little bit, and that helps you lower a bit more maybe. And perhaps you need a book or a cushion underneath your hips to make it comfy. Or you can just stay with that first variation. With the second variation there, we can lean back a bit more onto our hands or lower down to our elbows carefully. Lifting the hips up if you want to once you're on your elbows. If you want to lay all the way back and you like that variation, please do, but be careful again. And when we are on our elbows, as we lengthen from the thighs to the heart, send the shoulders, relaxing back, engaging the arms and the shoulders as well. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. One more breath, stretching through the front of our thighs and our psoas muscle, our soul muscle. Letting go of any tension. Great. Coming up slowly, carefully, and square, so there's no twinging in your lower back. We're now going to take the heels underneath the hips. Maybe come forward onto your hands and tap the feet if there's any blood restriction going on with your feet. Now we'll try one leg forward, so carefully, hands to the side, moving your left foot forward, and the left ankle heel is in line with the knee, or it can be slightly different and a bit longer away from you. Hands and fingers out to the sides if you like. Then we'll lift the hips forward. We have this nice stretch through the right thigh, right psoas, as well as engaging our hips, our spine, and strengthening this left leg. Breathing into the stretch, feeling the stretch and enjoying. One more breath. And then slowly lowering the hips down carefully. Take the hands forward and carefully move that foot underneath you. Lining in your Hero Virasana for a moment. And then we'll take the hands back again, carefully moving this right foot forward. Noticing if this side's any different for your own awareness. And then we lift up the hips again, pressing through the left thigh, the left front of hip, the psoas muscle for the nice stretch. And you've all heard me talk about psoas before as we let go of stress and resistance as we stretch our psoas muscle. One more breath, lifting heart. And then slowly lowering the hips down. Carefully taking onto your bottom and moving the feet forward now in your own way. I'm just going to check the time. Okay, so we've got 10 minutes. Let's roll onto our backs now. Taking feet hip distance apart and parallel as usual. Hands forwards with an inhale. Let's roll with our core slowly as possible. Rolling to the sacrum and the lower back, slowing it down, firming through your core, soften your shoulders and your face. When you get down to your shoulder blades, lift the hands over the head, stretching to the fingertips. We'll lift up this way in reverse, so firming the feet, take the hands forward and slowly come up through your core again, up to the top. Or if that's too hard, you can stay on your backs and roll around. Inhale, reach the hands up again. Exhale, we lower back down, slowing it through our core all the way to the ground. Slow, so slow. Reaching the hands overhead when you're ready to the fingertips. And let's do one more round. Or you can stay on your back and relax. And lifting up again, all the way up to the top. Through your core, inhale, reach the hands up again, well done everyone. Exhale, lowering as slowly as possible, drawing in through lower belly, lower back to the ground. And lift the hands overhead when you're ready, reaching to the fingers. Exhale, hands to either sides of the hips, and we walk the feet in. I'll practice bridge a few times, and if you would like to do Urdhva Dhanasana, upward facing wheel pose, you're really welcome to. Otherwise, let's just stay with bridge. We'll practice floating bridge, and there's an option to come up onto your toes as well. So let's lift our hips up, aligning the feet hip distance apart and parallel, pressing the hands to the ground. Exhale, lift the hips a bit higher. Inhale, reach the hands over the head, the floating bridge on your shoulders and your feet. Exhale, start to roll down through the spine to the back as slowly as possible. And inhale, take the hands back down to either sides of the hips. Exhale, we lift the hips up into our bridge. Inhale, hands over the head. This time maybe coming up onto your toes. Exhale, lowering down through the back and through the hands once you've finished, with the heels lowering as well. One more time. Exhale, lifting the hips. Inhale, lifting the heels and the hands overhead. Exhale, lowering down through the back. Inhale, lowering the hands and the heels to the ground. You can keep that going or just practice your normal bridge, lifting up and staying for 5 more breaths, please. Maybe in your normal bridge, you lift your heels off the ground and we're activating through your leg line a bit more. If you've got any hamstring issues, be careful with that. I've just noticed, I remember one of you said about your hamstrings, so don't lift the heels off the ground and bridge if you've got hamstring problems. One more breath. And then slowly rolling down through the back to the hips. You can sway the knees from side to side and practice one more round of bridge. Or if you have over Dharana, upward facing wheel that you like to practice in your sequence, taking hands to either sides of the shoulders, elbows up, firm the feet, parallel the feet as well. Press the pelvis up and then press through the hands, lift up onto the crown of the head, check that the hands are equal, and then lift up through into the back bend. Pressing through the arms, lift the shoulders, the heart forward towards above the head. Breathing into your back bend wherever you are, from the feet, all the way through the leg line and the spine. And then coming down when you're ready, swaying the knees from side to side. Now we're ready for Shavasana. If there's any other stretch you'd like to take, you're really welcome to take it. When you're ready to relax, taking the palms away from the body, palms turned up and feet wide, or choosing your restorative rest or your variation for relaxation. As you come into your stillness, soaking all your practice in with the light of the new moon in Taurus and the sun shining, and prana, your own source energy, soaking through every cell, every pore, every muscle, every bone, all the way through. And as you bathe in this light, soaking this light in like a sponge, and swirling this light around all of your organs, shimmering this light over all of your face, your heart, your lungs, your arms, your hands, all the way through your torso, your legs and your feet. Resting in your heart with this light of love and peace. As you send this out to the world. Resting with the mantra Aham Prema, I am divine love. Aham Prema, I am divine love. And I read about the new moon in Taurus. Taurus season asks us to believe that life is beautiful, an abundant journey. Ruled by Venus, this sign controls the finer things in life. Taurus encourages you to remember that you are worth it. The symbol for Taurus is a bull, solid as a rock, stable and secure. Throughout this season, ask yourself, do you believe in abundance or do you fear scarcity? What would help you feel more secure? What project do you need to see through to the finish line? Affirmation for the month may be for you, I have a strong sense of self-worth. Taurus is an earth sign. Earth is material, principle, physical, sensual, practical, useful, abundant, receptive, grounded, stable, secure, helpful, organized, and structured. So as you rest, soaking in this energy, and with the new moon, maybe you have a new focus that can help you with each day. And as we take our awareness to waking now, moving fingers and toes, deepening your breath, coming back to waking for your day and this new moon with the sun shining, the beauty of nature, the beauty inside yourself, of your soul, of love and peace. Stretching through and coming to seated in your own way, please. And when we're ready, taking our hands to our heart in Anjali Mudra, lengthening through the spine, softening shoulders back. Bowing to our heads and bowing to each other. Namaste. And possibly you'd like to end your practice taking your left hand to your heart and your right hand to the ground, and remembering your heart song, your affirmation, giving thanks to the earth. And maybe if there's any journaling that you'd like to do after class, to write anything that came to you down, please do. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for a lovely class.